Getting ready for that favorite trip, that place that you want to go, that place you always dreamed of going, or just want to go and have fun in general, right? You are ready to do all those things and enjoy that place. But the one thing that is standing in your way is packing. Now, no one likes packing. No one that I think ever likes packing. They may be excited about the trip, or you may be excited about the trip, but you don't enjoy the process of packing. At least I don't, and I don't think I know anyone else that does. And so packing's boring. It's not the most exciting process. It's really dull. And so, how do you make it more fun? Okay, I'm going to be honest. You can't make packing fun. So, I want to give you some tips. One thing that you can do is just take a break while you're packing. You're probably like, well, why do you want to take a break? Because if you're doing something that's not interesting, that's boring, that's dull, you have ADHD, just take a break and kind of get yourself refreshed. Then you can come back and tackle packing again. And this is not a bad thing. You're packing up a house, or when someone's packing up a house, apartment, or whatever, they take packing breaks. They take breaks from packing. They don't just pack all day, right? They go and get lunch. They go and grab some food. They go and do something else. Oh, I got to run to the bank and take a break here, take a break there. They don't pack everything up at once. So it's no different when you're packing for a trip. Now, you may not be packing all day, but you may be packing for an hour. You might be packing for 2 hours, depending on how fast or slow you pack. And now, the other thing I would say is going to be that you need some kind of deadline too. Like if you are going somewhere and you are ready to go and you're going on this trip and your friend tells you or whoever tells you, say, hey, be there Thursday. That's wide open, right? Thursday is Thursday. But if you say be there, if they say be there Thursday at 3, then that's different because now you have a deadline. And that will motivate you to get things done because if you're not done by a certain time, you know you can't get there by 3. Another thing is make a list. Make a list of everything you need to take with you. Not only this time, but every time you go travel somewhere, the essential things that you need to take with you every time. You're going to make a list for this specific trip too. Like, are there things on there that you don't need every trip, but things that you need specific for this trip, but make a universal list. Because you make it once and it's done. You don't have to do it ever again. You just keep it, post it up somewhere, put it in your suitcase. That way it's there. Every time you get ready to go on a trip, you go and you get your suitcase out and you open it and say, oh, there's my list right there. What you want to do is put all the essential things on there: clothes, your medication supplements, your toiletries, whatever else you need to go with you, whatever you need to go with you each and every trip, you make this list. And you do it once and then you just keep it. And the other thing is you don't have to make it all at once. As you go throughout the day, as you go throughout the night or whatever, you just kind of think of things and you're like, hey, I need to take that on my trip. So you write it down. Every time you get ready to go on a trip, just go back, get the list, and then see. And then check the list. Check the list, check it twice, whatever, that Santa Claus thing, right? But what I'm saying is that you need this list. It just makes things so much easier. You don't have to sit there and go, well, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need this to go take on to take on my trip? Do I need that to go take on my trip? As you remember things, things come to your mind, and you be like, I really need to take that on my trip. Just write it down on the list and just keep a running list of things. And like I said, at some point it will be complete. And then you just keep it in your suitcase or just post it up somewhere. And every time you get ready to go on a trip, you go look at the list and you check all those things off first. Find a bag that is comfortable. Find one that you can pick up. Find one that you'll be able to use. It has everything in it, and it will make your trip a lot easier because if you have the bag, you're comfortable with it, and you know it has everything. You won't be trying to figure out, okay, how do I fit this in there? How do I fit that in there? Or I just stuff this in this little place here. Hopefully, my bag will close and hopefully I can pick it up because you might have a bag and you might not be able to close that bag because there's so much stuff in it because you got a bag that is the wrong kind of bag that you need for this trip. And so what you do is you close the suitcase and then or the bag and you sit on the suitcase to try to get it closed. And I know people who do this, they sit on the suitcase to try to get it closed. And then you try to have another person assist you with this so that you can zip up the suitcase or lock it or whatever. And you got everything in there, but now the bag is too heavy for you to pick up. Or now all the stuff in your bag, when you open it, all the stuff should come out of the suitcase and it won't be in a fashion to where you can figure out where everything is. So make sure you have the right bag. What are you going to do when you have to take your pills, supplements, whatever with you, and they're just in pill form or tablet form or whatever? Where are you going to store those? You need to think about this because What happens if you take your medication or whatever and it just spills all over the floor? Take your supplements and it spills all over the floor. What happens then? The other thing I just thought about, you have that bottle open for supplements or whatever, right? Or pills, whatever, and you just tip it over, or it just goes all over everywhere in your suitcase or bag, or whatever. But maybe you just left the cap off by accident or whatever, right? Get yourself a travel case. You can store all these little tablets and things in the case that locks. You don't have to worry about stuff like that happening. I have one right here. It locks. You just open it up, locks like that. I'm not sponsoring anything by anybody, but just saying, this is mine. I take it with me. It locks. It's not going to open. And you can't see it's around the podcast, but it's just a case that has. Oh, and I'll show you this too. This is a case that has all these different things in it, right? Where you can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it has all the different things you need for different days. And this one comes with like four, so you have four of these things. So you have a whole month. If you are gone on a trip for a whole month, you can take this with you. It's going to be good, right? Because you'll have something that's going to keep your pills, keep your supplements, keep your tablets, whatever it is, it's gonna keep it secure as you travel. It's just a great thing to have because you have everything in one place. It's easy, it's locked up, that it's not gonna spill over everywhere and you're not gonna lose things. Now, the other thing in relation to that is going to be travel little containers that holds your lotion, shampoo. Now, you can go out and buy these travel sizes or whatever, and you can do that, and that's okay. Don't want to take the whole container or whatever you have. You're like, I don't want to take all that with me because that's going to make things harder on me to have all the stuff in my suitcase. Just going to be make the suitcase heavier, make me have more things that I have to worry about and all this kind of stuff. What do you do instead of having to go and buy all the travel stuff and everything? And what you do is you get like this little thing here. It's a very simple little bottle thing and 99 cents. Lotion, body wash, whatever. You just put you put the lotion or whatever in here, then you just take that with you. It's good because every time you get ready to go on a trip, instead of having to go buy all the travel sizes, you can just take one of those things with you and or buy, a few here and there. And if you're going to buy a few here and there, just make sure you know what is in each one. Don't like get multiple and then don't label and then don't remember what is in each one because that can be bad. You have all these little bottles around and you don't know which one is which. You might use something you don't want to use on an area that you don't want to use it. Just make sure that if you're going to do that, is make sure you label them or at least that you know which color is which one. Thinking about this more, you want something that is going to be able to keep your toiletries in place and not have them all over your suitcase or all over your bag because toiletries, lotion, body wash, whatever, has a tendency to come open because the container lid is always not the most secure thing. What happens is you open up your suitcase or open up your bag, and that stuff is all over everything. And that is just a big mess. And then you're like, well, how am I going to get this or that? You figuring out, how you're going to get off your clothes and where you're gonna go, and are you just gonna buy new clothes and figure, all this stuff, right? Need to either have some sort of container or case that keeps all that stuff from coming open, right? Keeps all that stuff to say if it does come open, it's not going to get all over the whole suitcase or bag. Or you can just use like Ziploc bags, right? One of those bags that has plastic bags that has a lock on it, right? With Ziploc bags or those little bags, little plastic bags that have the lock on, you can put whatever you want to in there. And if it spills, if the container comes open, it's just going to be in that bag. If it comes open, okay, you lost a little bit of whatever you had in that bag, but you don't have it all over your suitcase, bag, and whatever. They're easy to use and don't cost a whole lot. And the fact that it will help save you a lot of frustration if your lotion, body wash, whatever comes open. Another thing to think about is going to be pack extra clothes, pack extra for extra days. Because something might happen. You might be stuck at the airport, for instance, or stuck, somewhere where your car broke down or whatever, right? You can't get back home and you have to be somewhere for a couple of days, right? Don't know how you're going to do that because you only pack for this amount of time. But if you pack for a couple of days or 3 or 4 days more, you're like, okay, I have to be here for a couple more days. I've got my stuff for a couple more days. I'm good. Also, make sure if you have medication or things you need to take that are essential, pack more days of those as well. Because the worst thing that can happen to you is you're somewhere, you have some medication or something you have to take, and you only brought enough for these specific days because you're like, I'm going to be here this specific time. I'm only going to take enough for this many days. But if something happens, you have to be there for more days. What happens then? You're scrambling around trying to figure out, oh, how am I going to get it? Can I call my doctor? Can I do this? Or can I run to here and get something? You're trying to figure out every kind of way to do that. This problem can be solved by just packing a few extra days. If you just pack a few extra days of clothes, medication, whatever else you need, toiletries, whatever else you need, then if you have to stay somewhere or be somewhere unexpectedly for that amount of time, like, wow, I don't know what to do. You won't be so stressed out. You won't be so nervous or whatever because you're trying to figure out how are you going to survive or how are you going to stay for these extra days and how are you going to do all this stuff when you only bought enough for that specific time. You might say, why am I packing for these extra days? And then when you get there and that situation happens, even though it's a rare situation, you'll be thankful that you packed for a few extra days. Don't forget your travel information. Wherever you're going, if you need a map, if you need GPS, wherever you need directions, where you're going to get to somewhere, and there has to be some sort of directions to get to where you're going. Now, with GPS and everything now, you might just be able to, like, what's the name of the place, put it in, and that will get you there. But if you have an itinerary of certain places you need to be, do not forget that information. And it may sound like a silly thing to say, but just don't forget it. Because if you forget at home, you can't get that information when you're out on that trip. Or, you're supposed to be someplace and you're like, I forgot everything. I don't know where we're supposed to go, where we're supposed to be. And that just makes you kind of more stressed out. So don't forget it. Put it somewhere where you will remember it and bring it with you. So, what do you think about this? Do you like the tips? Do you hate them? Are you like, well, I might use some of them? Do you have your own tips? I'd like to hear about that as well. And before you go ahead and click the subscribe button for me, whether you are on YouTube or a podcast app. Leave a like and a comment as well. And I thank you for listening. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Thank you for watching this episode or listening to this episode of the Rewire Fitness Podcast. If you're on YouTube or a podcast app, go and click the subscribe button for me. And if you're on YouTube, ring the notification bell as well as leave a like and a comment. And just a reminder, if you're on YouTube, you can listen to all episodes on any digital platform. Thank you again and have a great day.